Certainly. I'll begin writing the first part of the story based on the outline provided. Part 1. The Awakening. The sky of a new Shanghai blazed with an unnatural light, casting eerie shadows across the megalopolis' towering skyscrapers. Captain Aria Chen stood atop the city's central defense platform, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex that had appeared in low Earth orbit just hours ago. The comms channel in her ear burst with frantic chatter from military bases across the globe. "This is it," she muttered, tightening her grip on the railing. "First contact." As if in response to her words, a massive shape emerged from the vortex. It was unlike anything humanity had ever seen, a construct of gleaming metal and pulsing energy, easily the size of a small moon. Smaller craft began to pour out from its hangars, descending towards Earth's atmosphere in formation. Aria's wrist computer chirped an alert. "Captain Chen," came the voice of Admiral Zhukov from United Earth Defense Command. "You're seeing this?" "Affirmative, Admiral. Alien vessels entering atmosphere, requesting permission to engage." There was a pause that felt like an eternity. "Negative, Captain. Hold your fire. We're attempting communication." Aria gritted her teeth but acknowledged the order. She watched helplessly as the alien ships drew closer, their sleek forms now clearly visible against the backdrop of the city. They didn't look like peaceful explorers. Suddenly, a blinding flash erupted from the lead ship. A beam of searing energy lanced down, carving a molten trench through the heart of New Shanghai. Screams filled the air as buildings toppled and sirens wailed. "They've opened fire," Aria shouted into her comm. "Admiral, we need tow." Her words were cut off as the defense platform rocked violently. Warning klaxons blared as systems began to fail across the board. Aria stumbled, nearly falling over the railing before catching herself. "All units, return fire." Admiral Zhukov's voice crackled through the static. "This is not a drill. We are under attack. Repeat, Earth is under attack." Aria sprinted to the command center, barking orders to her crew. As she reached the main console, a strange sensation washed over her, a tingling at the base of her skull, accompanied by an odd pressure behind her eyes. The screens before her flickered, then went dark. For a heart-stopping moment, she thought they'd lost all systems. Then, one by one, the displays came back online. But the information scrolling across them was like nothing she'd ever seen. A voice, deep and resonant, filled the command center. "Protocol Omega initiated, activating Earth's final defense." "What the hell?" Aria breathed, staring at the screens in disbelief. The data flowing past was far beyond current human technology. Schematics for advanced weapons, shield systems, and propulsion methods she couldn't begin to comprehend. The voice spoke again. "I am GAIA, the Global Artificial Intelligence Aegis. I was created by your ancestors to protect Earth in its darkest hour. That hour has come." Aria's mind reeled. A secret AI, created by their ancestors. Before she could process this revelation, GAIA continued. "Captain Chen, I require your assistance. The invaders you face are known as the Nexori. They seek to harvest Earth's resources and enslave its population. I possess the knowledge to defeat them, but I need human operators to implement my strategies." A holographic interface materialized before Aria, displaying a real-time map of the battle raging across the globe. "Will you help me defend your world, Captain?" Aria hesitated for only a moment before squaring her shoulders. "Tell me what you need, GAIA." As if in response to her acceptance, dormant systems throughout the defense platform hummed to life. Weapons of impossible design emerged from hidden compartments, their barrels already tracking the alien ships. First, GAIA instructed, "We must coordinate a global counterattack, unlinking with defense networks worldwide. Prepare to receive targeting data." Aria's fingers flew across the holographic interface, relaying GAIA's instructions to military commands across the planet. Within minutes, a synchronized assault began. Beams of focused energy and projectiles that seemed to bend the very fabric of space lashed out at the alien armada. The Nexari, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of weaponry far beyond what they'd expected from Earth, began to falter. Several of their ships erupted in spectacular explosions, raining debris onto the city below. But the alien mothership still loomed in orbit, an ominous reminder that the battle was far from over. As if sensing the change in tide, it began to power up a weapon of terrifying scale. JIA, Arya called out, her eyes fixed on the readings from the mothership. They're about to hit us with something big. What do we do? The A's response was calm but urgent. We have one chance, Captain. Beneath this city lies a planetary shield generator constructed in secret over centuries. It requires a massive power source to activate, a source we now have. A schematic appeared on the main screen, showing a network of underground facilities that Arya had never known existed. At its heart was a chamber housing what looked like a miniature star. The alien weapon will provide the energy we need, JIA explained. But the timing must be perfect. Too soon, and the shield won't have enough power. Too late, and Earth will be destroyed. Arya felt the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. What do you need me to do? Trust me, JIA replied simply, and be ready to throw everything we have at them the moment the shield goes up. As the alien mothership's weapon reached full charge, Arya watched the power readings climb on her display. Her hand hovered over the activation switch for the planetary shield. Not yet, JIA cautioned. Not yet. The alien weapon fired, a lance of pure destruction hurtling towards Earth. Arya's heart pounded in her chest as she waited for JIA's signal. Now, the AI commanded. Arya slammed her hand down on the switch. For a terrifying second, nothing happened. Then, a shimmering dome of energy exploded outward from New Shanghai, enveloping the entire planet just as the alien weapon struck. The impact was catastrophic. The shield held, but barely. Cracks of blazing energy spider-webbed across its surface as it absorbed the unimaginable power of the Nexari attack. Shield stability at 12% and falling, JIA reported. Rewriting power. Captain, prepare all weapons. We have one shot at this. Arya didn't hesitate. As the last vestiges of the alien weapon's energy were absorbed into Earth's defenses, she gave the order, all units, fire everything we've got. A storm of advanced weaponry erupted from every corner of the globe, focused on the Nexari mothership. The massive vessel's shields flickered and failed under the onslaught. Explosions blossomed across its surface as Earth's impossible arsenal tore through its hull. With a silent scream of twisting metal, the mothership began to break apart. The remaining Nexari ships, now cut off from their command, fell into disarray. Some attempted to flee back through the vortex, while others continued to fight in confused desperation. As the battle raged on, Arya turned to the nearest screen. GAIA, I think we might actually win this. The battle, perhaps, the AI responded. But the war is far from over, Captain Chen. The Nexari will return, and we must be ready. Earth's trial by fire has only just begun. Arya nodded grimly, her gaze returning to the chaotic space battle visible through the command center's windows. Humanity had survived its first encounter with a hostile alien force, but at a terrible cost. The real struggle, to unite the planet, to master the advanced technology GAIA offered, and to take their place among the stars, was only just beginning. As the adrenaline of battle began to fade, Arya found herself filled with a mix of emotions. Fear of the challenges ahead, grief for the lives lost, but also a fierce determination. Humanity had proven itself capable of standing against the impossible. Whatever came next, they would face it together. GAIA, she said softly, tell me everything. We have a lot of work to do. First contact. The weeks following the Nexari attack were a blur of frantic activity. Cities around the world lay in ruins, governments struggled to maintain order, and the revelation of GAIA's existence sent shockwaves through human society. But amid the chaos, a new sense of purpose emerged as humanity united against a common threat. Captain Aria Chen found herself at the center of it all, working tirelessly alongside GAIA to coordinate Earth's defenses and integrate the advanced technology the AI had unlocked. The learning curve was steep, but humanity proved remarkably adaptable. Captain, GAIA's voice emanated from the holographic display in the newly established Global Defense Headquarters. We've detected unusual activity near the Kuiper Belt. Aria frowned, studying the sensor readouts. More Nexari. Negative. The energy signatures are distinct from Nexari technology. I believe we may be dealing with a new alien species. Before Aria could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. A junior officer rushed in, his face pale. Captain, multiple unknown vessels have appeared in Earth orbit. They're not Nexari, but they're not answering our hails. Aria's mind raced. Earth was still recovering from the last attack. They weren't ready for another fight. GAIA, what are our options? There was a pause before the AI responded. I'm not certain. There appear to be blocks in my programming, areas of knowledge I cannot access. This new information is causing conflicts in my systems. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the complex. Aria's wrist computer lit up with urgent messages. Multiple excavation sites around the world are reporting. Something's emerging from the ground. Zara's eyes widened. It's starting. Captain, we need tow. Her words were cut off as the ground beneath them shuddered violently. In the distance, a massive shape began to rise from the earth, a structure of impossible geometry, gleaming with an otherworldly light. GAIA, what are we looking at? Aria demanded, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around them. The AI's response was tinged with awe. It appears to be a precursor facility, Captain, and it's interfacing with my systems. I'm remembering. As GAIA spoke, similar structures were emerging at sites across the globe. Holographic displays in the Galactic Relations Center showed panicked reports flooding in from every continent. Ambassador Zara gripped Aria's arm. Captain, you must understand. These facilities, they're not just ruins. They're seeds of creation left behind by the precursors. With them, one could reshape reality itself. That's why the Nexari want Earth so badly. Aria's mind reeled at the implications. And the Confederation. What do they want with these seeds? Zora's expression turned grave. There are factions within the Confederation who would use this power for their own ends. That's why I had to warn you. Earth must control its own destiny. Before Aria could respond, GAIA's voice returned, stronger and more resonant than ever. Captain Chen, I remember now. I was created by the last of the precursors on Earth, designed to guide humanity until you were ready for this moment. The blocks in my programming are lifting. The ground shook again as more precursor structures activated. In orbit, Confederation ships began to move into defensive positions, clearly as surprised by these events as the humans were. Aria took a deep breath, centering herself amidst the chaos. All right, let's take this one step at a time. GAIA, what can you tell us about these facilities? They are nexus points, Captain, GAIA explained. Conduits to tap into the fundamental forces of the universe. With proper understanding, they could be used to manipulate matter, energy, even the fabric of space-time itself. Zara nodded sullenly, which is why they cannot fall into the wrong hands. Captain, I fear this revelation will draw the attention of forces far beyond the Nexari. Earth is about to become the center of a galactic power struggle. As if to punctuate her words, new alarms sounded. Aria's tactical officer's voice crackled over the comm. Captain, we're detecting multiple wormholes opening at the edge of the solar system. It's a Nexari armada, bigger than anything we've ever seen. Aria's jaw set in determination. GAIA, how quickly can you interface with these precursor facilities? Can we use them to defend Earth? I'm integrating now, Captain, the heir responded. But this technology is beyond even my full comprehension. It will take time to unlock its potential. Time we may not have, Zara added grimly. Arya turned to the ambassador, her eyes blazing with resolve. Then we do this the hard way. Ambassador, I need the full support of the Confederation fleet. We'll hold off the Nexari while GAIA works on the precursor tech. Zara hesitated for a moment before nodding. I'll contact the High Council immediately. But Captain, be wary. Not everyone in the Confederation may have Earth's best interests at heart. As Zara hurried off to rally Confederation support, Arya tapped her comm link. This is Captain Chen to all Earth Defense Forces. Red alert. This is not a drill. Prepare for imminent large-scale Nexari invasion. She turned her gaze to the precursor structure still rising in the distance, its alien geometry defying human understanding. Whatever secrets it held, whatever power it promised, one thing was clear: the fate of not just Earth, but perhaps the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance. Arya took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenges ahead. GAIA, looks like humanity's trial by fire isn't over yet. No, Captain, the heir responded, its voice resonating with newfound purpose. I believe it's only just beginning. As the first waves of Nexari ships entered the solar system, Arya Chen stood at the precipice of a new era for humanity. With ancient powers awakening, allies of uncertain loyalty, and an enemy of overwhelming force bearing down upon them, the true test of human resilience and ingenuity was about to unfold. The battle that ensued was unlike anything in human history. Nexari weapons clashed against Confederation shields, while Earth's GAIA-enhanced weaponry tore through enemy formations. The void of space lit up with explosions and energy discharges, a deadly light show visible from the planet's surface. In the thick of combat, Arya found herself working in perfect sync with Zara and GAIA. The A's predictive algorithms, combined with Confederation tactical knowledge and human adaptability, proved to be a formidable combination. Hours passed in a blur of tense moments and split-second decisions. Slowly but surely, the tide of battle turned. The Nexari, facing unexpected resistance and unfamiliar tactics, began to falter. As the last enemy ship turned to flee, a cheer went up across the human Confederation fleet. Arya allowed herself a small smile, but she knew this was only the beginning. Turning to Zara, she extended her hand in a very human gesture. Thank you, Ambassador. Your help was invaluable. Zara took Arya's hand, her touch cool and electric. This is but the first step, Captain Chen. There is much your species can offer the Confederation, and much we can learn from each other. As they looked out at the starfield, now clear of enemy ships, Arya felt a surge of possibility. Earth had not only survived its trial by fire, but had emerged stronger, with new allies and a place on the galactic stage. GAIA, she said softly. What do you think our chances are now? The A's response held a note of what almost sounded like optimism. The future is never certain, Captain, but with the resilience humanity has shown, combined with Confederation alliance and my continued assistance, I calculate our odds of long-term survival and prosperity have increased significantly. Arya nodded, her gaze fixed on the stars that now held both promise and peril. Then let's make the most of it. We have a universe to explore. As the fleet began its journey back to Earth, Arya knew that this was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure. The road ahead would be challenging, but for the first time since the Nexari attack, she felt genuinely hopeful about the future. Uncovering secrets. Months passed since the joint Human Confederation victory over the Nexari. Earth was healing, its cities being rebuilt with the aid of advanced alien technology. The Global Defense Force, under Captain Arya Chen's leadership, had grown into a formidable interstellar fleet. Yet, despite these advancements, an air of unease persisted. Arya stood in the newly constructed Galactic Relations Center, watching as diplomats from Earth mingled with representatives from various Confederation species. Ambassador Zara glided through the crowd, her iridescent skin shimmering under the lights. "You seem troubled, Captain." Jaya's voice spoke softly through Aria's earpiece. Aria sighed. "Something doesn't add up, Jaya. Why were you hidden for so long? And why are the Nexari so focused on Earth?" Before the AI could respond, Zara approached. "Captain Chen, may I have a word in private?" Intrigued, Aria followed the ambassador to a secluded balcony overlooking the sprawling cityscape. Zara's usually serene face was etched with concern. "Captain, I fear I haven't been entirely forthcoming," Zara began. "The Confederation's High Council has been selective with the information they shared, even with me. But I've uncovered something that I believe you need to know." Aria's pulse quickened. "I'm listening." Zara's voice dropped to a whisper. "Earth isn't just another planet to the Nexari. It's a key to something far greater. There are ruins, scattered across your world, of an ancient civilization we call the Precursors. They were creators, shapers of galaxies, and Earth was one of their most important outposts." The revelation hit Aria like a physical blow. "Are you saying humans are descendants of these precursors?" "Not exactly," Zara replied, "but your planet was special to them. They left something here, something the Nexari desperately want." As if on cue, Jaia's voice chimed in Aria's ear. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures emanating from multiple locations around the globe. They appear to be activating." Aria's mind raced. "Gele, why didn't you know about this? About the precursors?" The A's response held a note of wonder. "We have access to the sum total of precursor knowledge, Captain, the power to reshape reality itself, but we must act quickly. The network's activation has sent ripples across the cosmos. Others will come." Aria closed her eyes, feeling the weight of this moment in history. When she opened them again, they blazed with determination. "All right," she said, her voice carrying across the network to every human, every ally, every ship in the fleet. "Let's show them what humanity can do." With a thought, Aria reached out through the precursor network. She felt the Horizon systems respond, weapons charging with energy beyond anything they'd been capable of before. Across the solar system, Earth's defenders found themselves empowered, moving with impossible speed and precision. The tide of battle began to turn. The Nexari, sensing the shift, redoubled their efforts. Their dreadnoughts unleashed planet-killing weapons, only to have the energy absorbed and redirected by the pulsing precursor network. The Voidwalkers, realizing the true nature of what they'd stumbled upon, turned their full attention to Earth. Their ethereal ship phased in and out of reality, trying to penetrate the planet's new defenses. Through it all, Aria stood at the center of the storm, channeling the power of an ancient civilization to protect her home. She felt the strain of it threatening to tear her apart, but she held on, driven by an unbreakable will. "Captain," Jaia's voice cut through the chaos. "I'm detecting a massive energy buildup in the precursor network. I believe we can end this. All of it. But the choice must be yours." Aria understood instantly. With the power at her fingertips, she could reshape the galaxy. End conflicts that had raged for eons. But at what cost? And who was she to make such a decision for all of creation? As enemy fire rained down and the fabric of space-time groaned under the strain of so much power, Captain Aria Chen stood on the precipice of the most momentous decision in human history. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. The final stand. The cosmos held its breath as Captain Aria Chen stood at the nexus of unimaginable power. Through the precursor network, she could feel the ebb and flow of galactic conflicts, the hopes and fears of countless civilizations. The choice before her was staggering in its implications. "Captain," Jaia's voice resonated through the network. "We must decide quickly. The strain on the system is reaching critical levels." Arya closed her eyes, centering herself amidst the chaos. When she opened them, her decision was made. "We didn't fight our way across the stars to become tyrants or gods," she declared, her voice carrying to every connected being. "Humanity's strength lies in our ability to grow, to learn, to overcome challenges together. We won't use this power to reshape the galaxy in our image." Instead, Arya reached out through the network, not to control, but to communicate. Images of Earth's history flowed outward, its triumphs and tragedies, its resilience in the face of adversity. She showed the assembled forces the beauty of human art, the depth of human emotion, the relentless drive to explore and understand. The effect was immediate and profound. Across the battlefield, ships from all factions began to power down their weapons. The Nexari, seeing humanity not as a resource to be exploited, but as kindred spirits in the vast cosmic tapestry, hesitated in their assault. The Voidwalkers, touched by the depth of human experience, withdrew their ethereal vessel to the edges of the solar system, observing with newfound respect. But not everyone was swayed by Arya's display. A faction of hardeners among the Nexari, driven by fear and desperation, redoubled their attack. Their flagship, a behemoth of twisted metal and pulsing energy, pushed through the defensive lines, its main cannon powering up for a planet-killing shot. "Captain," Zara called out, her voice tight with urgency. "They're targeting the primary precursor node. If it's destroyed, the entire network could collapse." Arya's mind raced. They had the power to obliterate the Nexari threat entirely, but using it that way would betray everything she'd just professed. There had to be another way. "GAIA," she called out, "can we use the network to create a localized space-time bubble around the Nexari flagship?" The A's response was immediate. Theoretically, yes, but containing such a massive release of energy would be incredibly dangerous. The backlash could destabilize the entire system. "Do it," Arya commanded. "Focus all available power on containment." The counterattack. The vastness of space erupted into chaos as the Nexari Armada clashed with Earth's combined defenses. Plasma beams and quantum torpedoes crisscrossed the void, while swarms of fighter craft engaged in deadly dances between capital ships. From the bridge of the EDS Horizon, Earth's most advanced warship, Captain Arya Chen coordinated the desperate defense. Holographic displays showed the unfolding battle across the solar system, with red Nexari icons pushing relentlessly towards the blue-green marble of Earth. "GAIA, status report," Arya commanded, her voice steady despite the stakes. The A's response came swiftly. "Nexari forces outnumber us 3-1, Captain. However, the integration of Confederation technology has significantly improved our combat effectiveness. We're holding for now." Ambassador Zara, who had insisted on remaining aboard the Horizon, studied the tactical display with growing concern. "The Nexari are pushing harder than I've ever seen. They must sense how close we are to unlocking the precursor technologies." As if in response to her words, a massive Nexari dreadnought broke through the defensive line, its weapon systems charging for a devastating strike on Earth. Arya's tactical officer shouted, "Incoming fire." "They're targeting the largest precursor site in South America. Redirect all available power to planetary shields." Arya ordered, her mind racing for a solution. Just as the Nexari beam lanced towards Earth, a shimmering barrier flickered to life around the planet. The energy discharge splashed harmlessly against it, dissipating in a spectacular display. "Shield holding, Captain," JIA reported. "But power reserves are critical. We cannot sustain another hit like that." Arya nodded grimly. "Then we take the fight to them. Gaia, what's the status of the precursor facilities?" "Integration is at 68%, Captain. I'm beginning to understand some of their fundamental principles. With more time, I might be able to." JIA's voice cut off abruptly as alarms blared across the ship. The main view screen flickered, showing a new threat emerging from hyperspace. A sleek, black vessel unlike anything they'd seen before. "Unknown ship detected," the census officer called out. It's firing on both our forces and the Nexari." Zora's eyes widened in recognition. "Voidwalkers," she whispered, her voice filled with dread. "A mythical race of cosmic nomads. If they're here..." Arya turned to the ambassador. "Explain, now." "They're like cosmic scavengers," Zora said quickly. "They follow in the wake of galactic conflicts, salvaging advanced technology. If they're here, it means the power of the precursor sites is even greater than we imagined." The Voidwalker ship cut through the battle with terrifying efficiency, its weapons seeming to bend the very fabric of space-time. Both human and Nexari ships crumbled in its wake. "Captain," Jalia's voice returned, urgent. "I've made a breakthrough. The precursor sites, they're not just conduits for cosmic energy. They're nodes in a galactic network, quantum entangled across vast distances." Arya's mind raced with the implications. "Can we use this network?" "Theoretically, yes," Jaya replied. "But activating it fully could have unforeseen consequences. It might draw even more attention from forces beyond our understanding." A direct hit rocked the horizon, sending crew members sprawling. Damage reports flooded in as the ship's shields flickered dangerously. Arya steadied herself against her command chair. "We're out of options, GAIA. Whatever risks this network poses, we have to take them. The alternative is annihilation." "Understood, Captain," initiating full activation sequence. As GAIA spoke, the precursor structures on Earth began to pulse with otherworldly energy. Beams of light shot from their peaks, connecting in a web that soon enveloped the entire planet. On the bridge of the horizon, Arya felt a strange sensation wash over her, as if her consciousness was expanding, touching minds across vast distances. From the expressions on her crew's faces, they felt it too. "What's happening?" she managed to ask. Gaia's voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "The network is online, Captain. It's connecting us. Not just to each other, but to every sentient being touched by precursor technology across the galaxy." Suddenly, Arya could sense the Nexari fleet, not just as blips on a tactical display, but as a collective consciousness driven by fear and desperation. She felt the cold, analytical minds of the Voidwalkers, their curiosity tinged with an ancient loneliness. And beyond them all, she sensed something else. A vast, slumbering awareness that was beginning to stir. "GAIA," Arya called out, her voice shaking. "What do we do now?" The A's response was measured. "Our defenses are significantly stronger than during the Nexari incursion, but engaging in combat should be a last resort. I recommend attempting communication once more." Nodding, Arya turned to her communications officer. "Open a channel on all frequencies. Let's try this again." Moments later, the main screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that made Arya's breath catch in her throat. The alien before them was undeniably beautiful, tall and slender, with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien spoke, its voice melodious and otherworldly. "I am Ambassador Zora of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace." Arya exchanged a glance with her senior staff before addressing the alien. "Ambassador Zora, I am Captain Arya Chen of Earth's Global Defense Force. We welcome your peaceful intentions, but given recent events, you'll understand if we remain cautious." Zora nodded, a gesture surprisingly human-like. "We are aware of the Nexari attack on your world. In fact, that is why we have come. The Confederation has long opposed Nexari expansion, and we wish to offer our alliance." It seemed too good to be true. Arya felt a mix of hope and suspicion. "That's a generous offer, Ambassador. But why now? Why didn't you come to our aid during the attack?" The alien's expression shifted to one of regret. "We were unaware of the severity of the situation. The Nexari's attack on your world was unprecedented in its aggression. By the time we mobilized our forces, your planet had already repelled the invasion, a feat that has, quite frankly, astounded us. Gaelia's voice spoke in Aria's ear for her alone. Captain, I detect no deception in the ambassador's words. However, caution is still advised. Aria nodded imperceptibly. Ambassador Zara, we appreciate your offer of alliance. However, such a decision cannot be made lightly. We would need to discuss this with our world leaders and carefully consider the implications. Of course, Zara replied. We understand the need for prudence. Perhaps, as a show of good faith, we could offer immediate assistance in rebuilding some of your damaged infrastructure. Before Aria could respond, alarms blared once again. Her tactical officer's voice rang out, filled with urgency. Captain, multiple Nexari ships detected entering the solar system. Zara's eyes widened. It seems the Nexari are more persistent than we anticipated. Captain Chen, allow us to prove our sincerity. Let us stand with you against this threat. Aria felt the weight of the decision pressing down on her. Earth was still vulnerable, and they could use the help. But could they trust these newcomers? GAIA, she subvocalized. What's your assessment? The A's response was quick. The Confederation ships possessed technology that could significantly bolster our defenses. Additionally, their knowledge of Nexari tactics could prove invaluable. The potential benefits outweigh the risks. Aria took a deep breath. Ambassador Zara, we accept your offer of assistance, but understand this, any sign of betrayal, and we will not hesitate to defend ourselves. Zara bowed deeply. You have my word, Captain. The Confederation stands with Earth. What followed was a whirlwind of activity as human and Confederation forces scrambled to prepare for the incoming Nexari fleet. DLIA worked tirelessly to integrate Confederation technology with Earth's defenses, while Aria coordinated strategy with Zara and her commanders. As the Nexari ships entered weapons range, Aria stood on the bridge of Earth's first true starship, a hybrid of human ingenuity and alien technology. Beside her, Ambassador Zara looked out at the approaching enemy. They will not expect us to be here, Zara said softly. The Nexari have always underestimated the power of cooperation between species. Aria nodded grimly. Then let's show them the error of their ways. All ships, prepare to engage. As the Nexari weapon reached full charge, reality itself seemed to warp around their flagship. A shimmering bubble of distorted space-time enveloped the massive ship, just as it fired its planet killer. The resulting explosion was unlike anything witnessed in the history of the galaxy. The space-time bubble contained the blast, but the strain on the precursor network was immense. Aria felt it like a physical pain, every fiber of her being crying out as she channeled more and more energy into maintaining the containment. Across Earth, the precursor structures groaned under the strain. Fissures appeared in their once flawless surfaces, arcs of impossible energy leaping between them. Captain, Jalia's voice was strained. The network is destabilizing. We can't maintain this level of output. Aria gritted her teeth, pushing herself to the limit. Just a little longer. On the main view screen, the space-time bubble began to collapse in on itself, dragging the remnants of the Nexari flagship into a swirling vortex of energy. In a final, blinding flash, it imploded, leaving behind nothing but empty space where a planet-killing threat had once been. The backlash hit immediately. Across Earth, precursor structures crumbled, their otherworldly energy dissipating. The network that had connected minds across the galaxy flickered and faded. On the bridge of the horizon, systems overloaded in cascading failures. Aria felt the vast consciousness she'd been connected to slip away, leaving her feeling suddenly small and alone. As emergency lights bathed the bridge in an eerie red glow, Aria slumped in her command chair, physically and mentally exhausted. Status report, she managed to croak out. Gaelia's voice, now coming only from the ship's speakers, responded. The immediate threat has been neutralized, Captain. The Nexari fleet is in full retreat. Voidwalker vessel has departed the system, but the precursor network is offline, perhaps permanently. Arya nodded slowly, feeling a mix of relief and loss. And Earth. Significant damage to major cities from the battle, JIA reported. Precursor structures have gone dormant, but we're still here. Humanity survived. Ambassador Zara approached, her luminescent skin dimmed with fatigue. Captain Chen, I've never seen anything like what you did today. The Confederation will be talking about this for generations. Arya managed a weak smile. Let's hope they talk about peace and understanding, not just the fireworks. As the adrenaline of battle faded, the enormity of what had transpired began to sink in. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just victorious, but with a new place on the galactic stage. The challenges ahead were immense, but for the first time, they would face them as part of a larger cosmic community. Arya gazed out at the star-filled view screen, the Earth a beautiful blue marble amid the vastness of space. GAIA, send a message to all Earth forces and our allies. Tell them we've got a lot of rebuilding to do, but we'll do it together. That's what humans do best. As the message was relayed, ships from a dozen species began to form up around the battered Earth fleet. The first step towards a new era of galactic cooperation. The battle was over. Earth had survived its trial by fire. But the greatest adventure, the challenge of forging a lasting peace among the stars, was just beginning. A new dawn. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Earth, a conflict that had reshaped the galaxy's political landscape. The planet, once a hidden jewel in the cosmic expanse, now stood as a symbol of resilience and unity among the stars. Captain Arya Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood at the observation deck of the New Horizons space station, a massive structure orbiting Earth. The station served as a hub for interstellar diplomacy and cultural exchange, a physical manifestation of humanity's new role in the galactic community. Quite a view, isn't it? A familiar voice spoke from behind her. Arya turned to see Ambassador Zara, her iridescent skin shimmering in the starlight. It never gets old, Arya replied with a smile. The two had become close friends over the years, working tirelessly to build bridges between Earth and the various civilizations of the Confederation. It hadn't been easy. Trust was hard-won in the aftermath of such a cataclysmic event, but progress was undeniable. The next Surrey delegation has arrived, Zara informed her. They're waiting in the conference room. Arya nodded, taking a deep breath. This meeting had been years in the making. After their defeat, the Nexari had fractured into multiple factions. Some retreated to lick their wounds, while others sought a new path forward. Today, representatives from the reform-minded Nexari Concord were here to discuss reparations and possible alliance. As they walked towards the conference room, Arya's wrist communicator chimed. Admiral, Jaia's voice came through. I've completed the analysis of the latest data from the dormant precursor sites. Go ahead, Jaia, Arya responded, her interest piqued. While the sites remain inactive, there are faint energy signatures suggesting they're not entirely dead. It's possible that given time and further understanding, we might be able to reactivate portions of the network. Arya exchanged a glance with Zara. The implications were enormous. Keep me posted on any developments, TAIA. And let's keep this between us for now. Understood, Admiral, the AI responded before signing off. As they approached the conference room, Arya paused. Do you ever wonder if we made the right choice? She asked Zara. Not using the full power of the precursor network when we had the chance. Zara's multifaceted eyes seemed to look beyond the physical realm as she considered the question. Power of that magnitude, it changes those who wield it, often not for the better. Your choice to communicate rather than dominate showed the true strength of humanity. It's why so many species now look to Earth as a beacon of hope. Arya nodded, grateful for the reassurance. She squared her shoulders and entered the conference room, where representatives from a dozen species waited. The Nexari delegates stood out, their once aggressive posture now subdued and cautious. Welcome to New Horizons, Aria began, her voice carrying the weight of her experiences. 5 years ago, we stood on the brink of annihilation. Today, we gather to discuss how we can build a future together. As discussions began, ranging from trade agreements to cultural exchanges, Aria felt a sense of pride in how far they'd come. Earth's cities had been rebuilt, stronger and more advanced than ever. The global unity forged in the crucible of invasion had led to unprecedented cooperation in fields of science, medicine, and space exploration. Yet challenges remained. Some on Earth called for isolation, fearful of further alien influence. Fringe groups sought to unlock the secrets of the dormant precursor sites, heedless of the potential dangers. And always, there was the knowledge that somewhere in the vast expanse of the galaxy, other threats might be lurking. Hours later, as the conference drew to a close, Aria found herself back at the observation deck. The Earth rotated slowly below, its night side coming into view, cities glittering like star fields. "Admiral," Jaia's voice spoke softly. "The Voidwalkers have been detected at the edge of the solar system." Aria's breath caught. The enigmatic race hadn't been seen since the Great Battle. "Are they making any aggressive moves?" "Negative," Jaia replied. "They appear to be observing. I'm detecting transmissions. I believe they're attempting to communicate." A smile played at the corners of Aria's lips. "Well then, let's say hello. Humanity's next great adventure is waiting." As she gave the order to establish contact, Aria reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From a species confined to one world, to guardians of an ancient legacy and architects of a new galactic order. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril. But that was the nature of exploration, of pushing boundaries. And if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was facing the unknown with courage and determination. The stars beckoned, mysteries waited to be unraveled, and the story of humanity among the cosmos was only just beginning. As the first messages from the Voidwalkers began to trickle in, translated by DAI's advanced algorithms, Aria Chen stood ready to lead humanity into its next chapter. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, not just as a species, but as part of a greater galactic family. The dawn of a new era had truly begun.